Hey, this is Joe King from Gearbox, and you're listening to Third Shift.
Hi, everyone. It's Live on the Fives, and it's episode 115. I'm your host today, Danny, and there's these two dudes here. I think their names are Eric and Matt.
Hi, I'm Eric.
I'm Matt. How's it going, everybody?
I have a family and bad luck.
I have
All the
no
bad
family.
things happen to me.
And lots of free time on my hands.
Great
I
start.
throw my back out and do weird things.
I sit around and
I have
read
old
books
man problems,
and say I have
even though
no
I'm
time.
younger than the rest of these people.
If you don't know who we are, we're a podcast and stuff, and we talk about video games and sometimes Gearbox, and yeah. So thanks for joining us tonight. And who wants to start talking about what they did this week? You're pointing at me.
First. Yeah. Well, you talk first. Then.
And Eric's
We're both
pointing at
pointing at
Matt. No, you're both pointing off screen, actually.
Actually, on mine, we were both pointing directly at you because you're in the middle. It was great.
It's different for me, too. That's weird. Anyways,
All right.
fine. You want to talk about my week? I
Okay,
will.
do it.
Yep.
All right.
You haven't been on the show for like 5 weeks, so
It's been that
get
long?
with it. Well, it's not live on the twos.
I wish it was. Just kidding.
No,
Hey.
you don't. You hate being on the show.
All right. So, my past 5 weeks.
Give us all the details of every day
Yep.
of 5
I'm
weeks.
not gonna
Post
do that.
in. I got a cold beer sitting right here. I'll just chill out. Go.
This is the Danny recap
Danny
episode.
recap.
Danny, what have you been doing?
What's your life like?
It's been boring for the most part. Just work and baby stuff. But
This is a great
recently,
episode.
it is. Last week I started doing Twitch streaming more than just casually. I'm trying to keep to a schedule and get my gaming on. See, Monday night I actually did a creative, and it's the first one in a really long time. And I drew a bear.
Indeed, you
And
did.
I colored them. It was great. So yeah, I've been playing Beyond Two Souls. I've finished the Danganronpa 2 and 3.
Mhm.
And our shifters would know that because I talked all about it on our Shifter Monthly. No.
Wrong.
Nope.
What you playing third shift?
Yes.
That's indeed right.
And just, what was it, last night? No, the night before. I got into Fallout 76 Beta, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. It took a while to get used to it, just because, you know.
I don't know. Please tell me.
Yeah, why did it take time to get used to it?
It always takes a while to get used to new games, because you have to figure out all the buttons, and this one's a little different because it has survival kind of things in it. You have to watch your food and drink, make sure you're not starving or thirsty. Yeah, so I think that's it for me. Just same old, same old.
Uh-huh.
How about you, Eric? What have you been doing this past week?
This week is pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. I went to work, had me a good time there. Beyond that, this last weekend, we did a, hey, how much can we sit day? We did it. We sat. And we sat all day.
Oh my god.
And it was the best thing in the world. In fact, it was so good that I want to do it again this coming weekend. I said, man, I got a luncheon, and that's it. And I don't want to sit in my basement on this chair all day long, every day, and do nothing. Yes.
As a man who sits on his couch every day and does nothing, I tell you, it becomes overrated.
Oh, I would imagine it does. Just like standing and doing things constantly becomes overrated.
Yes.
I used to dream, oh man, when I'm so busy and always doing stuff, that's the greatest. Yeah, I hate it when I'm bored and sitting around. And then now I'm like, no, God, can we just stop? Can we just, for 1 second, just stop? Please, please. And it happened. It was great. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I ache and just want to do it one more time. Also, I had the privilege of dislocating a disc in my back 2 days ago.
Oh boy.
So I was walking around like a hunchback of Notre Dame for the entire day.
It was the best
yes,
day.
it was. That night,
Anytime I see Eric, he's just, hey, buddy. Oh, man. Let me tell you about this thing.
yeah,
It was good.
I stayed jovial and friendly. It was fun.
Good.
Got home, tried all sorts of, stretching exercises, blah, 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 blah. Nothing worked, so I said Jim Beam will do the trick. Sure enough, it did the trick. I didn't feel no pain anymore. Went to sleep, woke up, guess what? All the pain's back. There's no fixing anything. I was crawling around, barely walking again. So I had the wife. I said, hey, wife, help me out. And she said, cool, what you need? And I said, hey, how about you step on that there swollen, crazy part of my back that seems to be dying? And so she stepped on it, and then I heard like this like internal like
Pop.
like popping, weird popping noise. And like I felt things like shift, and like this whole shock wave went like through my body, like electrified little tingling. And then all of a sudden I could stand again, which was fantastic. Now I still have a lot of pain.
It's called a jolt to your spinal cord. It's your spinal cord going,
What the hell just happened?
Regardless, I can stand. However, I still have like real, tenderness down there, and it hurts. Like right now, sitting in this chair, it sucks, but at least I can walk, so it's definitely a plus. Beyond that, as I've said on I don't know how many podcasts now, I've been playing Dead Cells like a maniac, been playing World of Warcraft, been playing Destiny 2. Just living the good life, man. We just did Halloween, which was fantastic. I had a freaking great time out there. The weather was perfect. The kids were real good. We got a whole bunch of candy. Everyone was in the spirit. There was just one guy driving around like a moron. Like he was looking for his family, going like 30 miles an hour down all the roads, zipping around like some kind of freaking spazoid.
I hate that guy.
Besides that guy, everything was pretty darn smooth. So yeah, that's about it for me, man. It's been kind of a casual week. What about you, Matt?
I haven't been playing like any games at all this week, so there's that. But what I have done, and I actually have a backlog of movie reviews. I've been watching a lot of Frasier. I just got off an episode of Frasier right now, and I will say, everybody laughs. Oh, you watch some old sitcom, tee hee hee. But not only is it funny, but it actually does emotional moments really well. Like that whole first season, especially, it's like actual adult situations, like mature situations with feelings and emotions and things. And it's ha ha ha, funny episode. But in the end, or there's, that kernel in the moment in the middle of the episode where they're like, oh man, this is actually a serious thing. And, we gotta talk it out. We gotta figure this out. And like some of the episodes are like super like touching or like really depressing in some of them. Like there's some of them I was watching and I was like, shit. Man, it's just like you're having fun all this time, and then those last 5 minutes, it's just like
Socks you in the gut.
wow. and you think of what's a sitcom nowadays? Ha ha ha! Oh my God, Billy's got blue hair now. Whoa whoa whoa! And he jumped out the window. Ha ha! That's the episode. It's all ridiculous, stupid nonsense. So to see an episode that actually deals with issues and emotions and brings that out of you, I was like, man, this is amazing. I love it. So been watching a lot of that. And then I didn't get a chance to report last week, but I went and saw Venom in the theater. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that. I can see why people may not like it, but I was a big fan of Venom growing up, so it's good to see the big guy on the big screen done right, doing all kinds of Venom-y things. The interplay between Tom Hardy and alternate voice Tom Hardy was fantastic. And the other thing I really liked was, it's shot like, a big budget movie and everything, but there's a part where it's right where he gets Venom into him. He like goes in the lab and he's checking out. That's shot like entirely differently from the whole rest of the movie. That and the whole like the intro to when he's becoming Venom, like the symbiote's manifesting on top of him. That was so well done and shot in such a different tone that I really wanted to see that throughout the whole movie. It's kind of like horror movie vibes. And it's like, I want to see Venom, the horror movie. I want to see it shot that way. But it was really cool. I enjoyed the movie overall. Second movie I saw over the past 2 weeks, Hunter Killer. I love submarine movies. So this one, it's not going to be, etched in the pantheon of great movies or anything. But I enjoyed it. Like I said, I like sub movies. So that was pretty cool. And then went and saw First Man just a few days ago. That was outstanding. I love the whole style of it where it looks like an old movie from like the 60s. They got that filter. The colors are kind of, it's a little grainy. The colors are kind of washed up. And then, like, the way I think I had seen a preview of the movie in the theater where it's like, hey, here's a special Regal preview where we talk to the actors and the director. And I know one of the points the director made was he really wanted to put you in that seat, like with Neil Armstrong or in that capsule. So the way it was shot really reinforced that. I thought it was really cool. Like, I saw people complain about the shaky cams and stuff, but it puts you in that moment or in that character's mindset. Mm-hmm. I thought that was really well done. And then, of course, I mean, it's no spoilers. It's about Neil Armstrong. The scenes on the moon were incredible. I wanted to live in those scenes forever. Like, quiet and desolate, and just like, there's an emotional aspect to it, which I won't spoil, but it's just like this like desolate, depressing, kind of like just quiet, somber atmosphere the whole way through. No ambient sounds, just like there wouldn't be on the moon. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Just this stark landscape. He's looking around. You got the reflection in the visor of what he's seeing. Great. Beautiful. Awesome. I love the movie overall. So that was pretty good. Other than that, I ain't been doing nothing but being at work, and I can't comment on that on a podcast. So there we go.
Yeah, that fake landing on the moon is pretty neat, how they, mirrored the fake landing previously and then the fake landing this time. You know what I mean? Like, crazy. Never been to the moon. Jeez. God, man, stupid. God.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say. Not about that, but you maybe start thinking about space and moons and stuff. I love space movies that show off the scale of space and the expanse and the desolation of it. They did that really good in this movie. They had like a little demonstration at the very beginning of the movie that showed it, and then there's like one scene, and it takes like 10 seconds. It's of their little capsule going just through nothingness, through this total blackness, which it did. It really like drove it home, because you think of, it's just the moon. It's close. It's tiny. Well, that is bigger than anything you can possibly imagine. Right. Further away than anything you can realistically possibly imagine. So to just parse that out, and you get those moments in the movie. So there you go. That's it. That's actually it for me. So hey, move us on to the next thing, Danny. You got this.
So yeah, this week we brought back Talented Tuesday. And I want to keep doing it at least every month. And I kind of like the way we did it. I don't know how you guys felt about taking I'm going to say a fan's tutorial and following it and seeing what we come up with.
I can't wait to pick like a really complicated ass tutorial. Here's how to draw the Death Star cross-section with all the different rooms and everything in it.
Actually, Shelby has found a Millennium Falcon one.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I have a poster of that. I don't know if I can get it. There, it's over there. Mm-hmm. It's got the cross-section and all the diagrams and such in it. So I'll just trace that.
Just trace that. Yeah.
So
okay.
Perfect. Yes.
Even though it doesn't look like the same angle.
Nope.
I'm an artist, I was inspired.
Oh, okay. So you just like watched the tutorial and you went on your own direction. I got it.
And then I drew the Millennium Falcon as a girl kissing like an X-wing.
Perfect.
Because that's anytime you see a cool thing, that's what an artist does.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Love each other.
Like I said, I did mine on the stream, so it was just fun. I totally went a different direction I didn't think I would with it. I thought I was just going to draw a bear and color it brown and be done with it, but it got its own backstory and crazy colors and all that. It was really fun.
Interesting. I drew mine at work inside of like 3 minutes. And I drew it on red paper, so it was the big red bear.
Yeah.
I also drew mine at work. Gosh bless, that's a weird thing. Watched the video, drew it at work, named it Beelzebub because you know what? The other was named Lucifer. Got to keep in spirit,
that's
right?
True. Yeah.
I didn't keep it in spirit.
Well, you never do, man. You're always on your own program.
It's true.
We also recorded Which Playing Third Shift and talked about what we played, which we played.
Yep.
So that was awesome.
I had a great time editing that because I did exactly what I told Eric I was going to do.
What? Oh, yeah.
Which
I made him look like a total buffoon.
Awesome.
I knew as soon as you said it, because you were like, the music's grandiose, and you just kept going, and I went, I'm the one editing this. You sucker.
What else did we do?
That was it.
What else did we do, Danny?
Did we do IG2G?
What episode number was it?
Is this like a quiz?
What did we talk
40?
about? Yep. You're looking at. She's looking it up in her files.
No, I'm
This
really
is
not.
cheating.
I'm not.
This is
See,
cheating.
like my hands are right here. I don't remember. I know Red Dead was part of it.
This was the episode that sold me on Red Dead Redemption 2. It's sitting
Oh my
at Mom's
God.
house right now.
Is it
I
Oh,
really?
pick
you're
it up
lucky.
tomorrow.
You
Yeah.
are so lucky.
I was just going to download it to my console, but then it said, "Hey, do you want the regular, or the standard, or the ultimate editions?" And I went,
The choices.
and then I went, "What's going on, Amazon?" And it said, "Oh, you get a steel book and a little rolled up map if you buy like the physical." And I went,
There
"Yep."
you go.
Oh,
And then it went, "Hey, you want to use your points for $40 off?" And I went, "A double, yep."
nice.
Can't beat that. Can't beat that at all.
But I got the what is it? The deluxe, not the mega one, because the mega one just had multiplayer bonuses. So I got all the single player
Yeah.
stuff.
And that's all you really need. I mean, the multiplayer obviously is going to be a big deal later, but you've never been a multiplayer individual, so it doesn't matter.
That's not true.
It's not.
Sort of, but yes.
I don't play with you.
What else was on there? I know you talked about the PlayStation Classic.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm totally blanking. Apparently, it was nothing I was interested in.
Throne Breaker, The Witcher Tales. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Another one to add to my giant backlog of games I have to play because it is freaking amazing and beautiful and great.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once it comes out on PS4, it will be mine.
God bless, Matt.
What I don't understand why the releases are like that on some games where it's like, hey, you can have it here, but you can't have it here until you wait for like 5 months.
Well, they got the handshake agreement with GOG anyway.
Ah. Okay.
But they always do really good ports, or at least the best ports they can. So I trust CG Projekt Red.
Oh, yeah.
Plus,
They
I
always
have
do
too
good
much to
stuff.
play now anyway.
True. So it's probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I remember.
Yeah.
Did we do anything else?
So what else do we do, Danny? What's my favorite thing to announce on the show?
Your favorite thing?
Yep.
Were there shift codes?
There may have been. What game would that be for, I wonder? We're going to harass Danny until she never shows up on the show again because
It's
she
working.
doesn't like doing this stuff.
But we did have some golden keys, didn't we? We did indeed.
You did.
And they were for a beautiful game, Matt. What was it?
They
What
were.
was it? Come on.
Well, there's only one or two.
Yeah, I was going to say 50-50 chance. Take a guess. Which one is it? I don't know.
Take a
Oh, my
swing.
God.
Is it the pre-sequel?
No. Wrong. Man, you almost had it, Danny.
See, I don't
you
remember.
were so close.
I was almost there.
Shift codes for golden keys in Borderlands 2. So hit up the Twitter, the Reddit, the forums, the Instagram. Hit up your preferred shift code provider and go get yourself some free loot, suckers.
I got a B+ on the third shift quiz.
There you go.
I mean, 50% is more like a F.
Is that, yeah, well,
No, I mean overall.
This is like an open book test. I don't know.
No,
You gotta
I haven't been looking at
You got a
anything.
strict professor here. He's not giving no. He's not giving
I
no
am
bell curve
not a
here.
nice person.
I know.
I am a mean person.
I'm never gonna graduate.
No. Never.
All right, so guys, what are we gonna talk about?
Well, here we go. So besides all the goo goo gaga that we just did and went through, there is a little bit of real news before we get into the subject of the night.
Wait. My movie reviews are real news.
Yeah.
People tune in specifically to hear me talk about
I mean,
movies
if you want to
and Frasier.
backtrack, we can talk about movies and TV shows because I've been watching TV shows too.
So before we get into the main topic, which if you don't know is going to be an open kind of just discussion on where we're going to be taking the shows going forward, because with news slowing down on the third shift side and all that going on, we kind of want to just do something. We don't know yet because obviously we got to have an open discussion about it, and whatever I say will be lost, but one of these other two's opinions will go through.
Someone's butt hurt.
So it doesn't matter. But either way, before we get to it, let's go ahead and get through the real news real quick. Earthfall just had Invasion drop, everybody. A free update. So if you're still rocking out with some Earthfall, guess what? You got yourself a brand new DLC, which has 4 brand new Invasion maps. You've got all sorts of new skins. You've got all new audio done by the guys who did John Wick, and etc., etc., etc. So it looks pretty dang nice. What else did they get in there? They had... all new player perks and progression. So now, instead of just having the character done with the character moving on, you get perks for leveling up, killing more aliens. Obviously, you get customizable skins, weapon skins, also such things as like weapon perks like more ammo, carrying more ammo, more med kits. In general, you do get an extra grenade. They added a couple things with the enemies where if, say, one of the hunters pins you down, if you have a grenade, you can go ahead and pop that sucker in his mouth, and then, boom, blows it up, away you go. All sorts of other stuff as well. If you're interested, make sure you go check out earthfall.com, and you may enjoy that. Yeah, so go ahead. Lastly, I'm not going to really detail anything on this one, but we got the patch notes. We've decided we're not doing patch notes for the Epic's Fortnite any longer.
Done with that.
We're done with that.
I don't care about that damn game.
Well,
Hence why we're changing things up.
every week, too.
Yeah, it's every single week, always tons of stuff. So if you're interested, go check it out. It's a week-by-week thing. You guys know the drill by now. We don't have to tell you. And if you're super into it, you already know. Anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'll just say it's fun things as usual because that's what they always do. So get over there and check it out.
They got balloons.
They really do. They got balloons.
Cool.
And I thought that was pretty cool. I wish you could get like 6 red balloons instead of just, the one red balloon, the blue and yellow and everything.
Or how about 99 red balloons,
Mm-hmm.
And then you could sing in German. It'd be really good.
Yeah, indeed. I think it is. And then just one quick note on it, because I just feel obligated to say November 4th is when the whole big Halloween terrifying thing ends. Make sure you're in-game, in-match that day at, was it 4 p.m. Eastern Time, I believe? Yes. 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, or whatever. I don't know. Whatever. 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's all I know. Make sure you're there, because if you're in match at that time, there's going to be a one-time only event that closes everything out. And they said you're going to want to see it. Otherwise, go to YouTube later. You'll be able to catch it from your favorite YouTuber, streamer, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I love the dead face, Matt, earlier. That was great. That's great.
I thought you'd like that.
So that's about it, you guys. I just wanted to
wait.
Matt does have some more.
I got one other piece of news, but it's not really news. It's just because our buddy Mental Mars put out a little article talking about how it's a good time to be a Borderlands fan, and how that like exact phrase is going around in people's tweets, in people's streams and stuff. Who was it? I can't remember who he said it was that did the stream, and he was like, "Hey, it's a good time to be a Borderlands fan." That's all I can say right now, guys. And they're like, "Oh man, it's gonna be hype. It's gonna be cool." And it just made me so mad that, like, I shouldn't say this on the Gearbox podcast, but like, hey, we're gonna create a little phrase that we want all our content creators to say. It's a good time to be a Borderlands fan. You can say that and like get everybody hyped up. Because as someone who watches wrestling a lot, I hear that all the time. Like, the Crown Jewel event is coming up on Friday. And it's, hey, it's the World Cup to determine the best in the world. So anytime anyone mentions the World Cup to determine the best in the world, they have to say the World Cup to determine the best in the world. And then Survivor Series will be coming up. So anytime they say Survivor Series, it'll be the one time that Raw and SmackDown face off each year. So it's Survivor Series, the one time each year that Raw and SmackDown face off. They're going to have a Survivor Series, the one time that Raw and SmackDown... So this reminded me exactly of that. Like, hey guys, you can say it's a good time to be a Borderlands fan. Okay, but why? Well, it's a good time to be a Borderlands fan. I've seen a lot of stuff, but all I can say is it's a good time to be a Borderlands fan. So it's a good time to be a Borderlands fan, guys. I don't know if you knew that, but Mental Mars let us know.
Everybody said it. Gotta believe it. Oh, goodness. So, with all the side news out of the way, it's open discussion time.
Yep. What do you think, chat? What would you like to hear us talk about?
Yeah.
Movies and Frasier episodes? I can review every Frasier episode that I see right here on Third Shift.
New shows and stuff. If you want to hear about doctor shows, I watch at least 3 or 4 of them right now. I don't know how that happened.
I'm picturing like TLC shows where they just show you like,
No,
guts and
they're
parts.
they're fake. They're
No,
fake.
she's watching the dramas, Grey's Anatomy and stuff.
I'm watching the dramedies. No,
So
actually,
she's watching sex doctor shows.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? Grey's Anatomy.
no.
I know the two parts they're talking about. It's this one and that one.
That's about it.
I actually never got into Grey's.
I don't believe that because you're a woman, so you're like required to watch Grey's Anatomy and
No,
watch doctors
well,
have
I fail
sex.
as a woman then because I've never seen an episode.
So it looks like, let's see, a little bit of Anthem news. Oh, man,
Anthem
thoughts on
news?
Anthem. Oh, look at that. They want to shift to Anthem. I can cover Anthem.
You can do that.
Ooh, yes.
I'll do Frasier. You do Anthem.
Okay, do we got some Frasier peeps in here? Is they...
No, Matt's making that
Let's
up.
see. Let's see. No, it'll go in the chat.
Yeah, exactly. Tell them I want Frasier.
Oh, look, there it is. Oh, wow. Hey, thanks.
Oh, man, third shift.
There's like a ghost. Wow, a ghost that posed as me. Posted
Seems
that
like
in the
they
chat.
want Frasier.
Oh,
All
great.
right, well, I get it.
All right, episode recaps. Here they come. I got like 11 seasons to go through, so.
Man, there was that many, really?
Oh, yeah, that was a long,
Yeah, it went from
last-
93 to
Wow.
2004. I couldn't believe it when I saw that.
Yep. I watched it all the way up until I, dangled out of Michigan, so I didn't catch that last 3-4 years there, but I caught most of it.
Crazy.
But, yeah, so obviously the one comment we got, Anthem. Everybody wants Anthem. Look at that. Everybody says Anthem.
Everybody meaning
Yeah.
one person. So exactly as many everybody wants more Frasier coverage.
Hey, I'm just spinning. I'm spinning the numbers, man, making it look favorable. But
That's what you do with statistics.
all right, so on a real note, like I already said, with third shift, like right now in a kind of a droll, and for an unforeseeable amount of time, we're getting to the point where like, okay, we got really nothing to talk about, and we're just kind of stringing together whatever the heck we can to make it work every week. We also have another show, IG2G, which just covers games in general, quick fire, boom, 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 boom. And my original thought was to kind of just meld them into one show and go forward with one show that's just, hey, Gearbox is what we love and what we do, but we also are going to cover, video game news that's near and dear to us. And we're just going to cover that, whether it be a topic, a subject, a game in particular that's really getting our fancy going. But at the heart of it, if there is Gearbox news, we'll always be there covering it. That's kind of where I was thinking. But, of course, I don't know anything about what everybody else wants. Or, of course, if chat wants a particular thing like Anthem or Frasier, you know what I'm saying? It's all good.
So, what you're saying is third shift and IG2G will be kind of merging into one. Are we still going to do like a top 5 kind of thing? Or is it going to be like loose?
And that's open for, talking. I don't know. Like, what would you guys like, don't like? If you hate the idea entirely, then obviously let's go about figuring out what your kind of general ideas are. And that way we can kind of start to meld something that works for all of us into it instead of...
Well, what I think would be kind of cool is if we do the meld in, maybe it would be like, hey, here's, Gearbox specific news, if there is any, when there is any. And then you grab a topic and I grab a topic and we talk about whatever it is. Then that's third shift. And if we still wanted to do something IG2G like, we're like, hey, here's a hit of releases. And if you want to hear these two topics, we talked about them over here. We could even still keep the top 5 things. If you want to hear about this and this, go check out Third Shift 116. This and that are Third Shift 117, and then we'd have a kick around topic. We could do that.
Which would be similar
I
to how
like
the current
having
format, because the fifth one tends to always be like just a little melding point.
Yeah, and then IG2G would be like 30 minutes max until we got like a whole bunch of Gearbox news and needed to have 2 separate shows again. What I don't want to happen is,
abolish it.
hey, let's make Third Shift just the general news show. All right, now we have a ton of Gearbox news. All right, we're not going to talk about any other video games ever again. So if we do merge it, I'd like to still have IG2G, but have it just be releases, and then check out these episodes for the topics. Here we're going to talk about this week. Boom. Or, something like that. So it's still around, but it's not, we don't have to do like 3 times the work, because now we're doing topic here, topic there, full IG2G.
Yeah, I like that. Now, what I will say, too, though, is I also, like, if we keep the IG2G, which is cool, and we'll keep that format kind of how it is, like you're saying, give at least the top 5, but, spread the actual topics of conversation throughout the third shifts for the most part, except for the one throw around.
Yeah.
All great. I just want to make sure that, I'd rather, if possible, obviously there's got to be something in the news in those 2 weeks. I'm going to try to make it more intimate, try to catch more of the games or something that, we're vested in. That way it's easier to do because, and obviously it's not going to be possible every time because sometimes there just isn't nothing you care about personally out or coming out. But definitely want to try to keep it to where it's like, okay, this subject matter or this game, I actually like the article or I actually like the game or the idea behind it. Because sometimes, it's like, oh, well, we got to pick these games and there's really nothing I care about, but, we got to focus and try to put it together. That's the only reason I was kind of like, it'd be nice to kind of steer away a little bit from there, is that way you get out of the territory of just covering whatever random crap's out there, because at that particular week, there's just nothing of interest. But, I think I like the way you're talking there, because the 5 releases, that's easy peasy. You know what I mean? It's no big deal.
Yeah. And even if that's, hey, here's the 5 big games we don't really care about. Boom, that's releases.
Yeah.
And then we can do smaller, like you said, more intimate subjects on third shift. Like Sheep Week stuff.
Oh, God,
You
yes.
talk about that. Hey, oh, man, hey, did you see that one trailer? And I'd say, shut up, I don't want you to tell me about any trailers or anything. Or you could say, can you see that gameplay? You see that stream? And we can just kick back, have a conversation about it versus I have to report the news and I can't just say they had a stream and then they had a news thing and then I saw this cool trailer, because you can't have that in the current IG2G format. But we could talk about it on third shift.
Exactly. I like that. And just as a side note, like when Anthem comes out, we'd be able to I'd love to have some in-depth conversations about like the games we're passionate about. And currently we don't really have a place to do that except for what you're playing third shift, which is cool, but it's once a month. So I forget tons of things. And it's also got to be super general for the most part. And then secondly, only our Patreon peeps ever hear it. So I'm only ranting and raving to only a few of the patrons, which is fantastic and cool. But I want to be able to talk about this stuff to everybody sometimes too. So,
and then you lose a lot of that. Like if I am playing Red Dead and have this really cool quest, well, I'm gonna forget it by the end of the month. I'm just gonna say, oh, there's a bunch of cool quests like a train robbery and a bank heist or whatever they are. Versus if it's that week, I could be like, dude, oh, you go in and like Billy's off to the left and he gets shot and then Stevie's off to the right and then I tried to jump on the train but I fell off so I had to call my horse. You could actually like have a real person conversation like we would sitting at work talking about how cool it was, and it'd be fresh and popping in your mind.
Instead of trying to recall things and then I'm over here tangent and sidetracking because I've played such a large amount. And then I'm like, oh, hang on, that reminds me, man, I got to tell you this. Then all of a sudden it's just jumbled and I'm all over it. I don't remember what the hell I'm talking about. I'm like, oh.
I mean, stuff like Danganronpa. Like I had the whole thing wrong that we were talking about because it's been a month and a half, 2 months, 3 months since I played it.
Yeah.
So it's just, it would be a lot more immediate and fun, I think, even for the listener, because we'd be excited and popping and in it.
I agree.
Great job, guys. I think we did it.
All right. Well, I mean, what do you think, Danny?
I think it sounds good. I was hoping it would go into something like that because third shift has become just kind of, it's been what did Eric and Matt do this week? And here's a sprinkle of Gearbox and the end. So I think it's a good idea to merge the two shows in some sort of way for now until it picks up again.
It does get IG2G probably back within the realm of what it was always supposed to be.
Right.
Which would be nice. And then it just fleshes out third shift.
Plus now I can talk about Frasier on third shift. Like that'll be my topic.
Oh my God.
I'll analyze the episode that I watched just before I got on. Like, oh man, Niles bought this racehorse, but he didn't really realize that, oh my goodness, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. No, and I always hope that third shift would kind of turn into more of a about us, hanging out with us kind of thing. And here's what we learned about gaming today. And, this is what we've played, So I think it personalizes it a little bit more than it has been in the past.
Which is always nice.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like hearing more about me.
I like to connect to people that I listen to every week.
So going forward, we're going to have third shift as always, right? And we're going to have IG2G
Yes.
as always, right? Okay.
Yes.
So, are you guys thinking about extending the length of the show as well? Are we keeping it around an hour? Are we going 2 hours? What are we doing?
I think it should probably stick around the hour
roughly
mark.
stay the same, give or take, depending on the week. I
'Cause
mean,
yeah, we'll just be cutting like the Fortnite crap, and we already retired the Battleborn free rotation and a lot of the generic stuff. So in place of that would be actual topics that we want to talk about, or a quick conversation that we want to have. And hey, I mean, if we go on for 30 minutes about the latest Catherine stream, or I go on a total rant about Warriors of Orochi 4, and the show's an hour long, we can go, all right, well, no other secondary topic.
Just drop the
'cause
rest and move.
Show's getting out of control.
Which wouldn't be a big deal since it's whatever we want it to be at that point. So it's not like, if we don't cover this news, we just wasted, the whole week because no one cares, obviously, a week later. So it's pretty perfect. And do we want to continue with what you're playing third shift and the topic every month? No, like we already do, and nothing changed there.
So, do you like having it at noon? Or are you okay with it just being at a specific time?
Danny wants to do it at like 4 a.m. the next day.
The downfall I see with it being any later than noon is that now people aren't going to be able to listen to it on Friday. Now that we're switching to off topics and not necessarily news for the time being, that's not such a big deal because it's still going to be relevant Monday when most people get back to listening to podcasts and screwing around. However, if we have real news and people don't get a chance to listen until like 3-4 days later, they've already heard it on their favorite streamer, YouTuber, wherever else, or just gone and looked it up themselves since we're not available.
Yeah.
And plus, if we're releasing on Fridays, it really should be, I think noon is the latest you can go on a Friday without, if it releases like at 6 o'clock at night on a Friday, if I'm Johnny normal person, I'm eating dinner and then I'm doing my Friday night activity, so it's totally lost in the shuffle. I don't pay any attention to it. I mean, especially if you don't use a podcast app. Like, I know not a lot of people do.
Really?
Like, I know people who go and like, I'm going to go and listen to it via the site or whatever. So if it's not there,
see, and I thought most people use podcast aggregators on their phones.
No, I don't. I just fly around to the actual site.
It's good to know.
And then I'll also tell you I'm that exact guy. If I miss a podcast and it's like 3 days later, I don't even bother listening to it anymore. I just wait till the next week's because I've already got it somewhere else from a different podcast I listen to. So I'm like, oh, sorry, NVC, you're out of luck this week. See you next week. Maybe, hopefully.
And so, and also too, if it's at noon, then hey, I'm going to lunch. What's this? Bloop bloop. Awesome.
True.
I can listen to that during the lunch hour, or I can download it now, listen to it on my drive home.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I think that about covers it with the shows.
I think so.
I think we did it.
So that's a super downer note. So Danny, ask your mailbag question, and we'll close with that.
Yeah. All right, so I've had this question for a long time. I was actually going to ask it on episode 100, but we got so deep into everything else that I just put it aside. I would like to know where your gamer tags / usernames originated from.
Awesome.
And yeah.
You first, Danny.
Backstory.
You first.
Mine? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I got big into Sailor Moon back in the day when it was big on Toonami in the U.S.
You don't say.
It was bad. It was really bad to the point where my group of friends, each one had a Sailor Senshi behind them. And Sailor Moon was mine. Because I was...
So wait, quick interruption question. You said this was when it was big on Toonami. So was this wasn't the Deke syndicated version?
It was.
No, but I'm saying like when it was on Toonami, like were you watching it beforehand in the super original origin days?
Oh no.
Ha pa!
I think
false anime
I
fan.
had seen it.
Mainstreamer.
I think I had seen it. Because it kind of sparked a memory when I started watching it on Toonami, but I wasn't big into it until Toonami started airing it. Because I think it was out when I was like I don't remember. Too young to remember stuff.
I don't think that's right.
I was gonna say,
You're not
No,
that much
my brain
younger
just
than us.
doesn't remember stuff.
I remember back to 3 years old. If you can't remember back to like the 13, 14, there's problems.
I think maybe 5 years old. I think I remember back to. So we're okay there.
All right.
I remember riding that elevator down to the deli in the basement of the place where Mom worked at and getting a tuna sub. And then watching Thundercats on an old black and white TV in the conference room.
There you
Hell
go.
yeah.
That's
Good memories. Thanks, Mom.
So anyway, I was Sailor Moon. I was the leader of my posse. And one of my friends who was Sailor Mercury, she got big into it too. Like so big she was into she got into Japanese. She was learning Japanese for a while. And she found out that usakoi loosely meant cute bunny, cute rabbit, kind of thing. So that kind of stuck with me, and I just started using it everywhere.
So
Yeah.
question.
Go ahead.
Interrupting question, man. Uh-huh. Which Sailor Scout was Shelby? Because I see she was in the Sailor Moon clan.
She was Chibiusa.
Of
But
course.
that has since been retired to my daughter. And I
Wow.
was just talking to
Title
Shelby
was
about
stolen.
this the other day. She is now Sailor Mars.
Nerds.
She always
Nerds.
wanted to be Sailor Mars.
Yeah.
Nerds.
Oh, man.
So yeah, Usakoi, and the 84 is my birth year. So ta-da.
Beautiful.
All right, who wants to go next?
You just got to pick.
Who can do the
Fine.
deadest face into the camera?
Both of you. Same time, simultaneous response. Go.
Okay, well, anyway, so
No,
All right.
Go ahead, Matt. Tell us why you're Doc Funky.
okay, well, let's see. This originated from back in the AOL days, obviously,
Best internet.
when screen names were a big thing, and everyone's, "Oh man, what's your screen name? Well, I'm going to change my screen name. I'm going to have Mom log in and delete that screen name and give me a new screen name." Blah 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 blah. But there was one day we were watching an episode of NYPD Blue, the old cop drama, obviously, with Dennis Franz. And there was one episode where the criminal they were looking for, or somebody they were looking for, I'm assuming he ended up being the criminal, had a license plate that was Dr. Funky, Dr. Funky. And I went, hell yeah, that's my new screen name. Hey, Mom, will you get on and make me Dr. Funky? Okay, son. And Dr. Funky, of course, was taken. So it became Dr. Funky 7. And I'm like, I'll be Dr. Funky 7. That's cool. Numbers at the end of your name are cool. Do. So
Obviously.
I was Dr. Funky 7 on everything AOL, on the message boards, in the chat rooms, doing all this stuff. And, obviously you make friends in those chats, and they would say, hey, here comes Doc Funky, or hey, look, welcome Doc Funky. And I was like, oh, well, I'm Doc Funky. It just became Doc Funky. And of course, most places, or some places, there is an existing Doc Funky. So now I'm Doc
the
_Funky.
real. You have the real Doc
Or-
Funky in some places.
Or the real
Yeah.
Doc Funky now, yeah.
Yeah, I still got a waiting friend request from another Doc Funky.
For that other false
I
Doc
never
Funky.
supported it. I'm like, maybe one day he's gonna click accept, and it'll be the best thing ever. Someday,
And you invite him and me to a party chat, and I'll just
just
rip
him.
him.
Yeah.
It's
Until he just
constantly.
quits and never comes back. Perfect.
That's right. Maybe, you know what? Maybe with the PSN name change coming up, he's going to change his name because all these PSN nerds are excited
There you
about
go.
changing their names because
Yeah.
they're stupid.
I might drop the 84.
Ooh, there
I
you
don't
go.
know, though.
All these nerds want to change their stupid PSN names because they're stupid, is literally what I just said.
I know one person that's going to change his screen name.
Well, he's a nerd that's stupid.
God bless. Oh, Lordy. So, with mine, it actually originates way back in the day. A buddy of mine, Dan, me and him were like, hey, you know what? We're going to start writing our own book. We're nerds as well. We did nothing but read books, mostly fantasy. Billions upon billions of these suckers. We're like, we're going to write our own book. So, and it was the 6th grade through the 8th grade. We started putting together this entire story, The Village Below. And, of course, we created characters for it, cities, towns, the different peoples, all sorts of stuff. And, of course, being young, we're ripping off different, authors and then taking what they did and, changing it, which is what everybody does anyway, really. But anywho's, my main character was a dwarf, a little, beer drinking, axe wielding, just stubborn, doesn't care about anything really, dwarf. And then I was like, yeah, man, I got to come up with something original. So came up with Mahaga Glung. Mahaga, last name Glung. And then, of course, as time goes on in the usernames, because, I could put an underscore, but I thought it was funny at the time to just put Mahaga Glung in most things because nobody understands it whatsoever. It sounds stupid and ridiculous.
Right, yeah.
And so that's why I said, yeah, whatever, and then had Mahaga Glung. But, of course, over time, I've got it. Now it's Mahaga in some places, Mahaga Glung in others. Either way, that's where the name comes from. He's one of our main characters in the book that we never finished. And still, to this day, though, have all those notes and drawings all in a little cool leather binder tucked away. So
Nice.
if Daniel ever figures out what he's doing with his life, and gets where he needs to be, maybe we could finish that book, maybe. God bless. I don't know. But I'll tell you one thing I like to do with my name, Mahaga Glung. It's my new favorite thing to do, is Twitch. We're on Twitch all the time, watching all these different streamers all the time. So what I do is every month now, I give my subscription to a different streamer so that way they have to say my name. And it's so much fun to watch them go, nailed it. Thanks, Sky. Yes.
USA Koi, Yusa Koi, Yusa.
Mehegi, yes. This is great. So there you go.
All right, so wrap it up, Danny. You know how we do it.
So if you have any comments or concerns or you just want to say hi, shoot us an email at info@thirdShift.me, tweet at us under ThirdShiftME, or find us on Facebook under Third Shift. And if you really love what we do, you can find us over on Patreon. We treat it as a tip jar, so if you want to throw us $1, $2, $300, $1,000,000, we appreciate anything that comes our way. And it motivates us to continue doing what we love to do just for you guys. But we also know that sometimes you can't. Money is real, money is tight. So an easy way to support us would be to give us some likes, follows, 5 stars, mailbag questions, comments, feedback of any sort helps us and keeps us going strong. And if you want to catch this podcast again, we drop an episode every Friday. So we'll be back in your ear holes on the 9th of November. And you can find that episode on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast, you will find us there. And hey, if you guys like what we're doing and you want to help us out, leave us a like, rating, review, comment, or subscription, any good thing on any one of those good services, because they really do help us out and we really appreciate it. Especially those 5 stars. Give us all of your 5 stars. So, there's nothing else left to say but
don't forget to save.
Shut up and sit down.